Hey y'all, Fat Man Outdoors. Hey, if you liked the video, click that like button and click subscribe so that you'll get notifications whenever we post new content. Appreciate you watching. This is the Fat Man. I'm gone. Hey y'all, Fat Man Outdoors. Out here on the front porch swing today with another episode of What's in the Box. On occasion, someone will try to do a repro that pretty much hits the mark. I've saw some fairly nice firearms over the years that were remakes of some old classics. Some of them were really good, some of them were dismal. What I want to show you in this video is one that I think is probably the closest that I have ever seen to this point of someone making a repro that was basically dead on balls. Let me move the camera over a little bit. That sun's going to give us a problem. Trying to find. Oh, that's better. What I've got is a staunchest, and I looked it up to find out for sure how to pronounce that, because everybody was saying staunchest. It's staunchest. Staunchest. The last S has an H. Staunchest. It is made in Turkey, and they got a really good box that these come in. Awesome box. I really like the box. What it is, this is a repro of a 1911 it's 1911A1 government. Okay, it is the full size 1911. Now we're going to take a look at a few things that comes with this gun and talk about some of the similarities and just a couple little small things they missed just a little bit. Not much. It does come with two magazines, two standard 7-round 45 ACP GI standard mags. Comes with a gun lock, and again, if you don't have a gun vault and you've got other people that may have access to your firearms, use these. I mean, it just takes a minute. It does come with two sets of grips. Right now it has like a walnut checkered grips on it, actual wooden grips, but it does come with the period correct plastic grips that would have been on the gun that was issued during World War II and in Korea. It also comes with this tool that's used for the takedown, and to be honest, after you take it down about 2 times and everything gets wore, because the main pin gets wore to coming in and out of its hole, and you figure out what kind of pressure to hold on when you're pushing down on the guide rod to take out the barrel lug, there's no need for that, really, to be honest. I don't use it. The only time I ever used it was the first couple times I took it down when I was just getting that pin used to going in and out of the hole so it'd slide a lot easier. Comes with cleaning brush, cleaning jag. Up under here is all kinds of paperwork for it, telling you all about the gun and all that stuff. I'm sorry about the sunlight, guys. There's just not a whole lot I can do except try to block it with my big fat head. But anyway, now let's take a look at the pistol itself. Take the magazine out. Magazine is unloaded. Chamber is clear. Okay. Now, it is exactly the same as a standard GI 1911A1. It's the same length, it's the same width, it's the same height, it's the same weight. They even got the parkerized finish very close. The safety all works exactly the same way. It'll accept any 1911 mag. This is a Ruger 1911 mag. Goes right in there, not a problem. Ejects the magazines well. Everything on the little gun shoots pretty slick. We've probably shot it 100 times to this point, and I'm not. It's pretty much fed everything that I had some some semi-wad cutters that I knew there might be a little bit of a problem out of them because they were seated a little long, and I went back and pushed them down just a little farther and recrimped them because I needed the bullet to be just a little bit closer to the top edge of that where the bullet begins to cone down, and once we pushed them down to where they were about the fingernail thickness from being to the top of that, had no problem. It fed them. We've got some round nose flat point, 200 grain, fed those, not a problem. Little gun runs pretty good and handles nice. The recoil's not really bad because of that longer commander or the longer government barrel and slide. It's a little bit heavier in the front, so you don't get as much recoil as you do on some models of the 1911. But we'll go ahead, and I want to take it down and show you the inside. So to take it down, all you got to do is push down on that little knurled end of the guide rod, and then you rotate this little deal right here. This is your slide lock, or your slide lug rather, I guess is what you'd call it. There's the mainspring and the plunger. Then you rotate this back the other way till it stops, and then you can pull it out. Okay, and then once you get that pulled out, then what you got to do is you got to line up this small notch in the slide. Has to line up with this hole back here, this point back here where the slide. I'll just pull it back to it and show you. It'll be a lot easier for me to show you than. Now, I don't know how we're going to be able to see this because it's kind of small, but if you look at that little notch, it's lined up right at the end of where that detent is. Okay, and then once you get that lined up, then you can just take your finger and push that main pin out and the slide lock out, and it comes out all together. Again, I'm sorry for the sun, guys. And then I slid that off and dropped the other piece of my guide rod onto the floor. All this is exactly the same thing as if you had a Colt pistol. It's exactly the same thing. It has, it'll slide the barrel out. There you can see now the stripped down slide. Basically the only thing left in the slide now is just the extractor and the firing pin, and you could take it out by pushing this little pin in, and then that will release the firing pin where you can take it out. Don't need to do that unless you're going to hard strip it. You know, if you've been a place where it's been raining or you fell down in the mud or something like that, you need to get it out. But it does have the barrel length, just like regular 1911. It has a pretty well throated barrel. That was one of the differences that I've noticed. And the only differences I've found in this gun and what you would have if you picked up a 1940s model 1911A1 that is very subtle. This is one of them. The throat on the barrel, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see that. I hope you can. The throat on the barrel is a little bit better than the standard throat on a GI barrel, but it still could stand a little more. And there's a few gunsmiths around that do that, and I may end up taking this one to have it done, or I may not. You know, it just depends on. We're going to do some more experimenting with bullet seating depths and stuff with that round nose stuff and with the wad cutters, and if I can get it to run that stuff real good, then I won't fool with having it throated. But anybody that's dealt with 1911, that means us boomers, you know there's some stuff you got to address when you do that. But anyway, when you go to reassemble it, it's a very simple thing to reassemble it. Flip that barrel link so that it's back toward the muzzle end of the barrel. Slide your barrel in all the way back. Now take your guide rod, make sure the little cutout half moon is laying on the barrel. Put it right in there. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll take the slide, the frame upside down. Oh, and I didn't show that to you. The inside of it is just exactly like what you would see if you had a Colt 1911. Exact same thing. I couldn't find a single difference in that part of the gun. All right, make sure that your barrel link is flipped forward toward the muzzle end of the gun. We just take the slide, put it in the grooves, slide it forward. Then when you slide this part back, you just got to line that little notch up, and I'll show you right here as soon as I get it lined up. It's hard to see. I hope you can see it. That little notch is lined up right at the end of that detent. I hope you can see that. Now once you get that lined up like that, then you can take your takedown pin, which is also your slide lock lever, and just push it in. And once you got that done, now pull it back forward to where it's in the position where it would be if the gun was completely reassembled. Put in your barrel lug, start with it. If the bottom of the gun is facing you, it's got to be to the right side, and you turn it up, set it down in there, and then turn it all the way to the right till it stops. Then rotate it all the way back to the left 90 degrees. Slide your mainspring or your recoil spring and the end of your guide rod in, and just push this over till it comes out and locks. And there you have it. It's reassembled. Very simple. Very, very easy gun to take down. Very, very easy gun to clean. Now, I told you there was some differences. I'm going to try to move this camera just a little bit more. I told you there was a few differences, and there is, but they're very, very subtle. What I want to show you is the ejection port. Now on a 1911, the ejection port is not this low. I'm not sure what they're thinking what that was. If it was maybe just to try to reduce a little weight, or you know, cosmetically make it look a little better, or just to help with feeding. Because I've not seen a lot of issues with 1911s that had a ejection issue. You don't see very many stovepipes in a 1911. You see most of the time what's called a 3-point jam, where the bullet gets the bottom, the tip, and the end of the case gets caught up at the same time when it's trying to feed coming out of the magazine going up the feed ramp. Or you'll get it where just the bottom corner catches the lip on either the bottom or the top of the chamber as it's going in, and it'll freeze up. You don't see very many ejection problems in 1911 because they have a pretty robust extractor. So I'm not 100% sure why they did it, but that's one just a little small difference. If you look, this is cut down lower. It's down further this way, lower than on a actual Colt 1911. Now here's something else that I did notice. The way the hammer is knurled. Okay, the knurling is a little bit different, not a whole lot. And to be honest, unless you was like a connoisseur of Colts, these two differences, which are basically the only real differences that there is, even right down to the finish. They even got really close to the actual Parkerized finish on these guns. Now, like I said, they did not come with wooden grips. They came with plastic grips that were on them, but you actually have plastic grips that come with them, and that's another little bit of a difference, that the checkering on the plastic grips is a little bit different, okay, but not a lot. Now, some things that I'm glad that they did keep as the newer version of the A1 is they did make the beaver tail longer, so you have less chance of getting hammer bit. Okay, you can see I've got all kinds of room, and I'm dug in. You know, I mean, I've got my hand way up, and I've still got all kinds of room. You would almost have to purposely get too far up your web of your hand, too far up on the pistol in order to get hammer bit. That's one great thing. The other thing is the short trigger. Okay, the older 1911s had a little more travel. These don't really have any travel. Let's double check, make sure this thing's unloaded. And it is. There's not much travel. I'll show you. Okay, let's see if there's a way we can do this. There's the take up against the wall. Probably I'm going to guess somewhere in the neighborhood of 3.5 pounds. Very, very smooth, not stagey. It's a very positive trigger. That there's just, you with that short trigger, you only go maybe, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch, and you'll hit that wall, and then there's no there's no drag after that. There's nothing moves after that. It's just either you're not fired or you're fired. Now I'll show you the reset. Okay, I'll show you the reset. Very little distance to move before the reset. Now, they do just have a common blade and notch sight. The front sight is not movable. The back sight is dovetailed, and it would move if you wanted to drive it from one side to the other. That's something I would probably stay away from doing because that sight may begin to start drifting on its own if you move it much, if it gets that dovetail worn out a little bit. So I probably wouldn't do that. Wouldn't mess with that much. It does still have the same exact standard safety. It is, they don't got a big landing on the safety sticking out, but the one that's on there is knurled, and it does feel very natural. That as soon as you come up with it, your hand's already right there, so it does feel very natural. Guys, I've seen a lot of repros of 1911s. Just about anybody that makes handguns makes one, whether it be a cut down version, or a version in 9mm, or a version in 10mm, or a version in 45 ACP. There's a lot of 1911s out there. But for the money, this gun's $400 new. That's out the door. That's what I got. What I gave for mine, and they're well worth the money, in my opinion. They're the closest repro to an actual 1911 that I have ever seen, and I believe these little guns, the value of these guns will pick up. I really do. I don't know how many they'll get to import. They're imported into Knoxville, Tennessee, and they even, another thing I wanted to mention, they even didn't, go crazy with putting their name and big elaborate laser etch stuff all over it, putting writing on it. Basically come pretty close to exactly the same way that it would have been if it was an issue pistol. On one side, it just says 1911A1, M1911A1 government, and on the other side, very small letters, just says staunchest, Knoxville, Tennessee, and has the serial number on it, and that's it. So they tried to mimic the 1911, and in my honest opinion, hit a home run. Guys, if it was me, and I know you're a young person, oh man, these boomers and their 1911s. Look here, y'all can say what you want to about 1911. This darn thing has been in combat for well over 100 years. There's still these pistols in the field. Not a lot of people carry them anymore, but some people do. I'm not saying that the 45 caliber bullet is better, or if more rounds downrange instead of more impact strength downrange is better, or which one's better. It doesn't matter. The point is, this gun won a bunch of wars. And a lot of conflicts where it came against calibers nowadays that most people consider personal defense calibers. And this come out on top. 1911 has a storied history. I mean, it's, if you was going to try to pick out two guns that was going to be America's guns, that you was going to say, show us the two guns that are you would say would represent the United States of America more than any two guns, I would say a Winchester 1894 and a 1911. A lot of people may say a AR-15 and a M&P 9mm. I don't know. Young people love those. I got those too, and I like them also. But not because I'm a boomer, not because I'm an old guy. I am an old guy, and I'm proud I've lived this long to be an old guy. So, but I just like the 1911. I'm not going to carry it for personal defense, but that's not why I bought it. I bought it because I want this. I want a visual in my hand item that one day when I sit down with my grandsons and start telling them about how important firearms are to the way we live in this country, that I can show them this and say, and this is one of those items that our guys in 1918 and our guys in 1941 and our guys in 1952 and our guys in 1967 and our guys in 1991, they all went into the field and they all carried these and they all kicked the crap out of people. It represents us and it represents this nation. I honestly think that everybody should own one of these firearms. The only firearm that I've always wanted more than a 1911 is an M1 Garand, and now that's probably something that'll never ever happen because they've got ridiculously priced. But maybe someday I'll get rid of a few of mine and bite the bullet so I can buy one, because I know you can get them through the CMP. I think that's what it is. And I'd just like to get a hold of one of them, but they're a decent ones are very expensive. You can get ones that are like field grade, I guess what you'd call, that are not particularly in great shape, but they're shootable, and you can get, I think you can get those for about $1,200 now. But if you get a good one, a decent one, they're $1,800, $1,900, $2,000. I have seen some that was $5,000, just depending on what you've got. If they're all matching numbers and never issued and stuff like that. But that's another gun for another day. But today I wanted to show you all this, the staunchest 1911A1. Guys, this is a great little gun. It's a great little pistol, and it's a great value. $400 to get a 1911 of this caliber that's built this way and built this good and is this close to being the real deal. I don't got a Colt here to try it, but I would like to lay a Colt down here beside it and disassemble that Colt and see if the Colt slide and barrel lug and everything would fit on this pistol. And I bet it would. I haven't tried it. I'd like to see it, somebody who's got both, and I'm sure somebody out there's got both that has more money to drop on guns than I do, and make a short video of that, showing that you could take the slide and the barrel lug and all that stuff and the pin and everything off of a Colt and put on this frame and see if it's the same. Because that's something I'd be interested in to see how close they got with that as well. Because they sure got awful close with everything else. Well, guys, I just wanted to show you this little pea shooter while we're waiting on the boat to get fixed, so we can get out and start making some fishing videos. We've had a lot of call for those, and I'm sorry I haven't got to them. I ain't forgot you. I'm getting there. You know who I'm talking about. But guys, y'all have a great day. This is a Fat Man. I hope to see y'all out there somewhere. I'm gone.